Workplace collaboration. What's one thing that you've got to have in your company culture to get your team to work together well? Welcome to the Culture Course Show. This is where we help you attract the top talent and build a company culture of thriving employees. My name is Grant Botma, and I am an owner of an Inc. 5000 fastest growing company in America. Teamwork and collaboration within your employee, within your organization, is a really, really big deal. Projects and things are being worked on by more than one person all the time. It doesn't matter if you're a transactional business where there's a salesperson and there's some assistants and there's some other people working together on these transactions, or if you're a project-based business where there's a lot of collaboration and things that are happening. Getting a team to work together and work together well can sometimes be a challenge. And oftentimes, as leaders, as managers, as business owners, we can forget the one thing that's absolutely needed to make sure teamwork happens well. And worse, not only do we forget that this is needed and we don't ask for it and demand it and require it of our teams, but we don't do it. We don't lead by example in this way. That one thing is this: listening. This episode is brought to you by my new book, The Problem Isn't Their Paycheck: How to Attract Top Talent and Build a Company Culture of Thriving Employees. This book is now available on Amazon. You can buy it in a hardcover, ebook, Audible, or softcover like I'm holding up now on YouTube if you're watching. And you can also get more information about this book at culturecourse.com/book. That's culturecourse.com/book. You'll get a few more pieces of information about it. Feel free to check it out on Amazon and read some of the reviews of what other people are saying about it. Again, it's The Problem Isn't Their Paycheck: How to Attract Top Talent and Build a Thriving Company Culture. So when it comes to collaboration, how do you get that team to thrive? How do you get them to be a part of this team that's moving in the right direction? What do you need in your culture to do it? I said listening. And maybe when I said that, you kind of felt a little bit guilty because, as mentioned, we as leaders sometimes forget to do this. Somebody will say something to us and we'll just interrupt them before they even finish, right? They're trying to make a point. We already know what direction they're going. We have the forethought and the experience that we're just like, no, we're going this way. Or maybe you've got your heels dug in the sand that you know for a fact that things have to happen in a certain way, and you feel an employee commenting or communicating that's going to take things in a way that you don't want to go. So again, you interrupt and you don't listen all the way through. The reality is people need to be heard in order to collaborate well. Because if somebody isn't heard, if they don't feel like they have a voice, they either won't bring their voice out anymore because they're scared that no one's listening to them anyways, or they'll disengage and they'll stop listening to the other voices. This is a big deal, you guys. Listening is important. You may have heard me say it before, but so many times we focus on this word vision and being a visionary as a leader. I genuinely believe that we have to be listenaries. We have to listen well as leaders. And if we do that, we can then require it of our team to listen well. Example, if somebody comes to you and they have an idea, rather than cutting them off, you listen. And guess what? Maybe you can even ask a follow-up question to give them the opportunity to talk more. And you keep listening. If you're doing that, you have now earned the right to say to somebody else who cuts people off, who makes sure that they talk all the time, who tries to bogart the meetings, you can say, hey, let's listen. Let's be listeners here in this meeting. Let's be listeners as part of our culture. Let's be listeners so that we can move things in the direction that we want and collaborate well. You need everyone's voice, but more importantly, you need everyone to genuinely listen to the other voices, and they won't if you don't have a culture of listening. This week, your call to action is this: listen, ask, listen, and then you can talk. rather than just responding with a talk or talking point or an interruption, rather than allowing people on your team to just respond with something right away and try to move in the direction, especially the type A personalities who are really just go get them, make sure that you listen, ask. So ask a question again to get them to say more, to talk more, to give you the opportunity to listen again. And then after you have listened again, then you can talk. Listen, ask, listen again, then talk. Do that this week. Somebody is going to come to you and come with a statement. They might have a question. They might have an idea. They might have something that they have to communicate with you on some level. Rather than just responding right away, ask a question. Tell me more about that. Or help me understand this part of what you just said. Or, that's interesting. Can you give me an example? Ask questions. Then continue to listen again. Create a culture of listeners. Be the leader, listenary. Yes, a visionary, but be a listenary as well. Be the leader that listens and set the example for that in your culture. That way, workplace collaboration can happen better at your culture, better at your business than anywhere else. Because collaboration doesn't happen well without a culture of listening. If people don't feel like they have a voice, they won't speak up. And if people don't feel like they have a voice, they may not listen to anybody else who is speaking up. Collaboration requires listening. Listen, ask, listen again, then go ahead and talk. Try that this week. Have an awesome week.